What up, everybody? It's your boy Reggie Casual, and this is Unscripted, where we talk the business of fashion. Now, on this episode, we're going to talk about why you shouldn't start a fashion label, which is kind of counterproductive because this entire time we were talking about how to start one. But really, it's things that you should put into practice so that your budding label, brand, or whatever doesn't enter the same pantheon of other brands that fell into obscurity. So that's next. Let's go ahead and get into it. Now, back when I was working in the American corporatocracy, my boss, a marketing guy, told me, Reggie, if there's anything you must commit to memory in marketing, anything at all, it's that luck favors the prepared. And he was right, because years before, my pops, a military guy, always told me, son, in the military we practice P7. You know what P7 is? P7 is proper prior preparation prevents piss poor performance. And that's really good advice. And you don't need one of those P's, but you get the point. Basically, what both of these guys were getting at is that if you're unwilling to prepare, and prepare well, you're setting yourself up for mediocrity. You don't want to set yourself up for that, but you already know this. So how should we prepare when starting a label or a collection is the question. Well, you have to start asking yourself the hard questions like, do I have a lookbook? Do I have my tech packs ready? Do I have a line sheet? Do I have a product lineup sheet? Do I know what any of those things actually are? What about my online site? What CMS am I gonna use? What the hell is a CMS? It's a content management system. Go ahead and look it up. Do you know the benefits of a sole proprietorship versus a LLC? Are you familiar with accounts payable? Should you copyright or trademark designs and OPs? Wait a minute, what's an OP? That's an original property. Do you have a handle on your shipping situation? What's up with your pricing? How much is your stuff gonna cost? Who's your manufacturer? Who's your warehouser? What the hell is warehousing? Have you baked in all those costs into the price of your product? Some even need to know the fabric costs of their items. And how many pieces are you actually going to make at the end of the day? These are all questions you should be asking. And if you have a hard time answering any of those questions, then maybe you should go back and research them, because all of that is available to you on the Googler thing. That's not to say that no brand has ever succeeded without researching these things. Many have it, that's true, but successful ones have implemented it now, so why not you be ahead of the curve? Listen, I'm not asking you to be a business savant. I'm asking you to be serious about business, because this is your business. And having just a basic knowledge of any of these things will invoke a confidence in yourself and in your product that will help propel your brand to success. But of course, it goes beyond preparing. You need some action in that preparation, because you can run the risk of over preparing, something that I do very often. I'm not immune to it, so don't be like me. But action, what is action, and how do I act on my preparations? It's simple. Marketing. Whenever I talk with startups and people who start these startups in fashion, I have endless discussions on marketing. Because if there is one thing that you should learn and put an effort into being good at, it's marketing. You see, there's a reason why people with less talent often get more play with people with a lot of talent. Because the people with less talent often rely heavily on marketing themselves, and they have to be really good at it. And you'll need to employ some very basic marketing techniques to ensure your brand gets in front of the right eyes. Now, we've talked about this before. The first thing that you have to do is establish your target. Who are you selling to? And be super detailed about it. Like guys between 18 and 35 who play basketball at Venice Beach who speak Spanish kind of detailed. Now, you might be asking yourself, why the hell does it need to be that detailed? Well, because chances are you can actually speak to those people. You can meet them and create relationships, because guess what the secret to marketing is? Making relationships. So, by being very detailed with your target, you can be honest and sincere when reaching out to them. Imagine saying to someone you never met, just off rip, I was inspired by you when I made this product. That's far more effective than, yo, you should check out my brand. Because when you try to reach everyone with a statement like that, you target no one. Admittedly, this requires putting your feet on the ground, which is absolutely important, which is number 2, engage in direct marketing. Get out of the house and show off your product. And if you haven't done this yet, it's indicative of another problem and a major flaw in your label. Quite simply, you aren't proud of it, and you're just hoping. If you aren't willing to go out and show your lookbook to people, shops, buyers, invest in a pop-up or a trade show, or a simple stand outside, then it means you aren't prepared to own your product. And that's number 3, have a presentable product. Because even if you relegate your brand to online social media promotion, that's a safe space where criticism can be swept under the rug. But if it doesn't result in creating a relationship and eventual sales, then it's worth nothing. Like literally, you're not making anything. So make sure that your product is presentation ready, and as such, ready to market. Invest in promo materials if you have to, and send them out to potential fans with stipulations attached, like you have to say that my brand gave it to you. Bake that into your direct marketing strategies where you're putting your feet on the ground, and your social media strategy where you're searching for people who share your philosophy. Search hashtags that resonate with your brand and see who uses those hashtags and see if they fit in line with your mantra. Send them something free with those same stipulations attached. Get those 1,000 fans and followers, one person at a time if you have to. Blood, sweat, tears, you know the deal. That's marketing. You gotta speak, but most importantly, speak to the right people, because closed mouths don't get fed. But all this is something you're going to employ and scale for the tenure of your label, for as long as it lasts, which is why the last piece of advice is certainly not the least. If you're not in the business of future-proofing, then you are not in business at all. And this is what this entire episode is all about. Ensuring your brand makes it past year 1, 2, 3, 10, hopefully 20. But how do you do it? Well, first things first, your first that's a lot of firsts. Basically, your first collection should never be viewed as your last, because right after you make it, you have to market it like hell, while at the same time preparing for your next collection. Because honestly, it doesn't stop, and you have to be okay with that. Your core base that you worked so hard to get aren't just gonna stick around. They're going to demand that you expand, make better product, and continue to excite them collection after collection. Because if they ever go to your site or store and feel like there's no growth, they will slowly disengage, which is why consistency is key. There's a reason that so many major brands have scheduled delivery releases, because it keeps the content fresh and they're able to continuously keep fans on a feeding schedule, so to speak. And you need to employ that same strategy, albeit on a smaller scale. So what are your new ideas? What's the theme of your season or entire label? How can you scale the idea and how can you improve upon it? This is why a product lineup sheet is so important. Having that ahead of time can give you a plan of action on what else you can do to serve your base. And let's not forget about scaling your business. Understanding that the money you make from your new business is not your money per se, but your business's money. And you'll need that money to reinvest in your budding brand. This is not theoretical. This is basic info you learn in a business management course. I know, I took one. And the basics are all you need to understand how important it is to scale and grow. Because too often would-be brand starters are pocketing the cash they get from their brands, only to use it to buy someone else's stuff. And you should never make a brand to buy other people's stuff. That's just silly. Come on, come on. So yeah, preparation, savvy marketing, future-proofing, that's what it's gonna take. And I believe you can do it, or at least make a career doing something in the fashion industry. The question is, do you believe you can do it? Or you can just decide not to make a brand because it seems too hard or you don't want to do the work, some crazy idea like that. You could do that, and that would suck. There'd be no reason to watch this video. Of course, if you know somebody famous, then every point that was made here is moot, and you can just try to get them to wear your product and hope for the best. Hopefully it'll get big if I put a famous person in it. But for everybody else, if you employ this stuff, you can always say, I did it myself. I didn't need anybody to help me. You can establish a foundation, and that's always great. So that's unscripted, but there's so much more to cover. So if you want more in-depth info on brand building, marketing, and business, we're moving unscripted to Patreon, where you get access to even more. And we'll even bake in a Q&A for those super serious about this fashion thing. But fear not, we will still have clips of unscripted dropping on the channel once a month right here. In the meantime, give a thumbs up if you like this video, and as always, keep it casual. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. And I'll see you guys in a minute. Hopefully you don't lose interest. Branding.